Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Reaper Project breakdown of an arrangement that Isaac Wilson and I did of Three Little Birds, which is a classic Bob Marley song. I'm just going to be breaking down all the elements of the Reaper Project and then a little bit of the sheet music that was involved and just talking about the process a little bit. So let's jump right in. This is the project file. It has 411 tracks, I think. Yeah, so there's a couple of interesting things about this. First of all, the first verse is its own separate folder over here, and the reason for that is before we established which tempo we wanted for the main track, we recorded this intro, and then later we're like, okay, let's do this specific, what did we land on, 150, but to change that in the project file that we were in for the intro would mess with all the timings and pitches of all the regions that we had. So we ended up just starting a new project file, laying down the basic tracks for most of it, and then I later ported in the first verse and figured that all out. So right now I have the different lines kind of rendered into stereo files because this project got so big that it started crackling and stuff when we'd record stuff. But yeah, what we've got here is each of these has this is my message to you. Is it just me or is that really loud? This is my message to you. So each of these parts is two this is my message of Isaac and then two of me. This is my message. And then each of those is rendered into a this is my stereo file. So in this intro, this part, the most we get to here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different parts. Times 4 is 20 voices. Pitched by my door. At that moment. And then the ending is a bit different, but yeah, that's that part. So it starts with me as a soloist. Got some effects on that vocal, some basic stuff, a little bit of pitch shifting because I'm kind of pitchy. Rise up this morning. Oh yeah, another interesting thing is that there's only reverb on the lead vocals for this first verse, and not on the rest because I don't know, I really wanted a more intimate sound, but I wanted the lead vocal to stick out a little bit more, so that was the choice that I made. And then you might not have known right here. This is my message to. There's also a solo recording of Isaac singing that melody line that jumps in there. Yeah, so that's that. There's also a little tape stop going on there, so let's see. Yeah, so the KHS tape stop on the reverb is actually what's happening there. Don't worry. Yeah. So that's kind of fun. I think that's pretty much all there is to talk about the first verse. Then it jumps into the rest of the song. So the next thing you hear is the percussion element, and that is claves kind of giving a count in almost. And then jumping into that classic clave rhythm. Da, 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 da. That's probably horribly out of time because live video recording a screen there's lots of latency issues that I haven't figured out yet, so I'll try not to sing along or try to do rhythms along with the thing anymore. Yeah, so that's the first thing that you hear, and then we jump right in. Don't worry. To the chorus. And this is where Isaac starts. So, I mean, technically he jumps in at the end of here, but this is where his solo vocal truly starts to stick out. What do we got on that? Pretty much the same stuff that we got on the other solo vocals. A little bit of de-esser, EQ, compressor, clipper. Pretty basic stuff. Don't and some reverb. Do I have that like turned? Oh, that's right. Yeah, the reverb actually doesn't come in until the very end. So I was like, why is this showing up right there? It actually shouldn't be there. Yeah, so yeah, you'll see a lot of that in this project file where there was something that had effects on it, and that's been like turned off, and then a stem was created just to try to save on CPU usage. So that's Isaac's vocal right there. Let's hear a little bit of that. Don't worry about a thing. You might be hearing a little bit of reverb on there. That's because the entire project after the first verse goes into this studio reverb. It's as a send. I love this plugin, the IRL Efficient Stereo. It's I can't remember the name of it, convolution reverb or whatever, or it's the kind of reverb where you can put your own impulse responses into and then do stuff with. I haven't actually used it for that yet because I love the four. There's only 4 stock impulse responses that it has, and I love them. I love using them. I think they're really great. So like this one, I use the studio, and literally everything is running into that, and that just gives it a sort of like cohesive feel, like this is a live band playing in a studio. So that's don't worry about a thing. That's the reverb that you're hearing. 'Cause every little thing without it is gonna be alright. Sounds very different. Sing and don't worry. So that's cool. Yeah. So that's solo vocals at that first section. What else we got? Oh yeah, this little thing. So this is what I called imitation. So that is the line from the original song. I don't know what it's played on. It might be I don't even remember what instrument plays that in the original song, but that line exists. I don't remember exactly how it goes because I messed with it here. It's like one of these cuts off short. I think the original is it just does that every time, but like I messed with it so that like one of them ends early and one of them goes long, just to give it a little bit of variation and just like a little nod to the original. We've also got some harmonies that are like matching the solo, is what I call it. Don't worry about a thing. They're kind of subtle, but 'cause every little thing they're really nice. Gonna be all right. Oh, Isaac is so good at tuning. Sing and don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be all right. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, so that's cool. What else we got? Solo. We got some bass that comes in right away. That was me, I play bass. I love that little lick. That's like my signature lick. What do I have on that? A tuner, Renaissance Axe stereo, little radiator, R bass stereo, bass lane, and a clipper. That's kind of my basic bass plug-in chain. Excuse me. What else we got going on? Guitar, that was also me. Those are on off beats. Maybe if I turn on the click, that'll help. Really terrible guitar playing by me. I'm really not very good at guitar yet. Do I have anything in the guitar rig going? Oh yeah, I have a little bit of something going on there. A little bit of, oh, a lot, literally max settings for the stabilizer. Some EQ and a clipper. Nice. Man, it sounds so terrible when it's soloed out. It sounds fine in the context of the track, but solo, it sounds so bad. I'm really not a guitar player. All right, I don't have any drums yet. Do have an organ part though. So this is this plugin, which is really cool. I think it's a free plugin, but it's like a Hanon MIDI Hanon plugin. Yeah. I love this little thing. There's a thing here that says "Pay me a beer" in case you want to donate to the guy who created it. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I love this plugin, Free Clip. It's so helpful. It's so nice. Yeah, Isaac played this organ part. Cool thing about this plugin is that you can activate the Leslie, the like vibrato sound, by pushing down the pedal. So yeah, so let's stick to the first verse, or first chorus, I suppose is what this is, isn't it? Oh yeah, so I have this labeled as just like FX. So that's literally some breath. Hold on, let's turn off the reverb for now. So that's like me breathing. And I think it might also be... Now maybe that is just me going... I thought it might be reversed, but I think it's just... I don't know. But anyway, me breathing and then me going... just shh a bunch of times, and then throw some reverb on it, and then that's just kind of a transition technique that I learned from Jacob Collier. Don't worry, just kind of literally breathe some life into the track. I mean, maybe not literally life, but literally breathing on the track. Yeah, so I already talked about the clave a little bit. What else do we have? Shaker. Yeah. Emphasizing beat 3. Or 2 and 4, depending on how fast you're counting. That's pretty cool. I think that's everything for the first chorus, or whatever this is. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Sing and don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning. Yeah, okay, so now we're into the second repetition of the verse. So the interesting thing about the song that we realized when we first started trying to arrange it is that there's only one verse and one chorus, like, lyrically. You know, there isn't like multiple verses to arrange in different spots. You literally just have to like alternate between verse and chorus. I mean, I'm sure there's more creative ways you could arrange this, but that's pretty much what you have to do because there's no other lyrics to play with. So, you know, we started with verse, and then that was chorus, and then here's the first verse again, but, I mean, we arranged it differently. That's why the track kind of evolves. Rise up this morning. So this is also Isaac on the
Rise
vocal.
up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep.
Woo!
Singing.
Hit it. Yeah, we already talked about the plugins on there. I don't need to go into that. The imitation stops. We do have some harmonies. Yeah, so one interesting thing about this section is we messed with the harmonies, or rather Isaac did. This is entirely his idea. Actually, let's go to the organ first so you can hear what he played. I don't know which of us had the idea of messing with the harmonies, but he's the one that wrote these specific harmonies. He's like, what if we did this and just played it? I was like, quick, write it down. That was so cool. It's almost like a... I don't even know what that was. I don't know what that was. That was... Let's see. 1. Da-da-da. So that's like a flat 7. Da-da. So that's like... That'd be like the flat major 3 of the original key. Down a 5th. And then that would be the flat major 6. Da, 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 da. Yeah. So that's just a wild chord progression. We had to alter the melody a little bit to make it fit that, but it was so cool. He just like pulled it out of his hat and was like, hey, check this out. So yeah, we have vocal harmonies singing that. Yeah. Banger. So we did some like vowel change stuff, like as you heard, we started on U and we ended on an ah, just to kind of like morph the tone throughout. There's some compressors going on. Once again, I think 2 of each is Isaac and 2 of each is me, although that might be Isaac. I think it might be reversed. So yeah, that sounds like me. We're basses. You can tell we love singing those low notes. Yeah, and then we had this kind of, oh yeah, I love this little crunch chord we got going on with this.
This is my message to you.
So I think that's like a Lydian cluster chord is what we were going for.
This is my 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 message. This is
Yeah.
message to you.
That's so much fun. All right, what else we got? We have more bass. Pretty much the same as before. I love bass. More guitar. The one, like, interesting thing I did with the guitar part was during this section, I let the notes ring out rather than stopping them short. Like, here's the first part, and then here's this part. Just to kind of give it a little bit different feel. Still sounds bad, but in the context, it's alright. Yeah, you already heard the organ part. Do you have any new percussion? I feel like we have some new percussion. Oh, yeah, that's right, the cajon. So Isaac hopped on the cajon and played this. This is going through, oh yeah, some pretty heavy EQ to try to separate the, like, kick of the cajon from the snare of the cajon. And then Baby Audio's Beat Slammer, pretty heavy compression and whatnot going on there. Little Magma Tube stereo. And free clip. Of course, I have free clip on everything. There's also some tambourine that hops in here. I can't tell. Oh yeah, okay. So these are two separate tracks. Sometimes when I record tambourines and shakers and stuff, I'll record them with two microphones pointed from opposite directions, and that gives like just enough stereo separation to sound good, but not so much that it's like disappears in mono. But this, I actually just recorded two separate tracks, but I double tracked it. I look like, wait, what is that? Why did I do that? Hold on. You can't really hear it in the final mix, but actually, I think I know what that was. I think it was when we were recording this. Hold on. I think if you start like right here. Yeah, okay. So when you start on that beat, on that measure, you hear just the tail end of Isaac's vocal. It goes, "Hey!" So that made Isaac and myself laugh so much when we were recording this. So I apparently imitated it right there when I was recording one of the tambourine parts. And I just never cut it out. So technically that's in the final render that you hear on YouTube and on streaming services. That's so funny. I can't hear it, but it's technically there. That's hilarious. I can't believe I left that in. Okay, so I think that's everything for that section. Should be anyway. Yeah, okay. Moving on.
This is my message to you.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now we get into the instrumental solo. Let's see if I have the original for this, because this was originally a melodica solo that Isaac played. Yeah, that's kind of loud. So he just kind of improvised that, excuse me, based on the melody of the chorus, I think. And we liked it, but we didn't really like the tone of the melodica in the context of this track. And so we're like, what if we had it on sax? And I was like, well, I don't have any sax plugins that would sound good. But we go to college and we're, involved in the music department. So I'm sure one of our sax playing friends could play it for us. So we ended up writing it. That's what this is for. We ended up writing it for alto and soprano sax. And my sheet music got a little messed up, but this is essentially what it looks like. And we sent it to Elena Karsten, and she was willing to play it for us. So thank you to Elena for playing it. She actually played both versions. We recorded both versions and then decided later which one we liked. But the alto part ended up making it into the track. So this is what that sounds like. Just gonna mute the studio reverb. I love how when you solo this, you can hear reverb after each note stops. That's because we recorded this in Naz Chapel, which is a very, I mean, not super, but it's a pretty reverberous space. Is that a word? Reverberous? Reverberant. I think that's the word I was looking for. So yeah, it's a very, there's a lot of reverb in that space, but I mic'd it very close to the sax to try to get as little of that as possible. I wanted a little bit of it, otherwise I wouldn't have recorded it in there, but I need to turn the studio reverb on to get the full effect. It's barely there, but I think it's just barely audible. Yeah, so anyway, thanks, Elena. You're a big help. Neither of us can play sax like you can. Not even close. So that was cool that she was able to do that. Yeah, I also have the soprano still sitting here. We liked that one too, but it just, I like the I like the richness of the alto more. So that's the solo. Oh yeah, when we were writing the sheet music for this, we got to this part. And that's something that was not improvised by Isaac, but that was a chord progression I came up with on the piano over there as a transition to get to the new key that we wanted to get to. And then we wrote that little arpeggiated thing for the melodica to play. So you can hear that here. That's the other thing about melodica is unless you tune it yourself, they generally sound kind of out of tune. But anyway, so we played that, and then when we decided we wanted to write it down in sheet music for a saxophone player to play, it took us like 2 minutes to figure out what we even played. Just this little part that I had like come up with the chords for and come up with this little arpeggiated thing. It took us like several minutes to figure out the notes when we were putting it in here, but we eventually figured it out. So that was fun times. Anyway, Elena played it very well. There's another thing that I actually left in. That was good. Can you hear that? Cannot hear it in the final version. At least I can't. So yeah, that's the sax solo. That's pretty cool. What else is going on in this section? Guitar, bass. Whoa, hold on. I was very metrically thrown off there. There we go. not very interesting stuff going on there. Oh, I did play those chords on guitar. Except I think I had to like record them each individually because I can't like switch chords that fast on a guitar yet. So I recorded them individually and then spliced them together. Anyway, that's cool. Oh yeah, here's the first. Oh yeah, so like this solo section is the first instance of MIDI drums that we have in this track. So here's what those sound like. Kind of sound weird out of context. Even weirder if you turn off the reverb. It's crazy how much a studio reverb can make MIDI drums sound like real drums. They still don't sound that real, but like it's much better with the reverb. I think Isaac played that pattern on this MIDI controller. And what sounds do we have here? AJ Hall kick, of course. Some EQ, clipper, snare. It's AJ Hall snare, of course. I like AJ Hall samples if you couldn't tell. Some hats. I think also from AJ Hall, probably. I don't know. I don't think the toms come in yet. Why do I have like multiple? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. It's like, why do I have multiple sets of toms? It's because some of them were placed by hand and some of them are MIDI triggers. At the end of this section, we get this little... Hold on, let's start at a metrically better place. It sounds so bad out of context. In context, it's fine. Like you could almost be fooled into thinking that's I don't think fooled is the right word. They sound decent in context, but out of context, soloed, they just rough. Anyway, so yeah, that's the drums. First instance of MIDI drums in the track. Solo. Oh yeah, okay. This little thing. If you're into like music production meme world and like YouTube video production memes, you might be familiar with this sound. This is the meow synth. Okay, so this is a synth that I discovered through the Cat from Ipanema YouTube video. You should go check it out. It's iconic. Also in the Hall of the Mountain King played on Cat synth is amazing. But the best part about this synth is that every time a note plays, this little gif of the cat moves its mouth. It's so great. It's so good. Iconic. So yeah, the reason we added that is because Isaac wanted to add little like keyboard like counter melody stuff to throw in, but in the kind of like dead space of the sax solo. And he's like, I need something that's like, wow, 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 wow. And I was like, do I have any synths that go wow, wow, wow? And then I was like looking through my list of like my MIDI instruments are not very well organized. Like I just have a big folder called, it's not even a big folder. It's just a small folder called MIDI. And I was like looking through these. I was like, wait a minute, Meow Synth kind of goes wow, wow, wow. And so I pulled it up kind of as a joke. And then we started playing around with it. We're like, wait a minute, this is exactly what we're looking for. So that's what that sound is. love that so much. Yeah, we have a bit of organ in this section. I think this was also played by Isaac. Nice. Oh yeah, and then that little transition, we got some organ in there as well. There's the new section. Have some other percussion. Just shaker and claves, it seems. Excuse me. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so this little transition is where some more vocals start. So let's see, what do we have going on here? I love writing vocal harmonies so much and recording them. They're so much fun. So I think that's roughly equal parts Isaac and me. I think there might have been a few parts I did that he didn't, but if you're curious, the way I write those, at least in this example, is by doing this. I write it out in MIDI. This might be really loud, so I'm going to start by turning it down. So that was its own set of recordings. And so what we do is like we copy that down. You can see there's two of them here. And then as you go through, you like select the notes. You go into the MIDI file and you select notes for the part that you're going to sing, like this. And then you sing it however many times you're going to sing it. And then you delete that one. And then you move on to another one until they're all gone. And that's just kind of how to keep track of which ones you've done, which ones you haven't. But then you keep a copy of it in case you want to look back at what the parts are. So that's that. Is there anything else going on in this? I don't know if there's anything else really going on in that. Oh yeah, there's a cymbal. Oh, there's also some cymbals parts that I missed over here. Oh yeah. Sorry, jumping back in the song a little bit. There's these little so that's just two recordings of the cymbal played differently and then panned left and right. As you can see there. There's also this little cymbal transition. So I want to say those are like imported cymbal swell sounds that I grabbed from somewhere. I don't know where. And then you like reverse and stick them together or something. I don't know. It's a transition. And then that also shows up here. Some more cymbal parts. Just kind of accenting those chord changes. There's also a little cymbal swell transition here. Although I think that one was played live on the one that I've got. A few different recordings of it. What is this? I think that might be like a render or something, or maybe an unused take. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that little transition. Guitar, bass. Does bass play there? Oh, yeah. Nice. So then we have this. This is kind of the climactic chorus. It's kind of the biggest section of the song in my mind. This is kind of where I pulled out all the stops, metaphorically speaking. And, well, actually, I'm not sure we changed the organ sound at all, but we could have pulled out the the MIDI stops of the... Anyway, enough of that. So this is where I'm singing the melody, but Isaac also has a solo vocal that's singing a harmony, because we kind of wanted to, like, we didn't want one of us to have the melody for the climactic section. We wanted to kind of both be up there. But I'm singing a harmony, or Isaac is singing a harmony, but we're both singing a solo part, as I call it.
Don't worry about a thing.
They're kind of roughly equally mixed.
'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing.
Fun fact, when we originally started on this project and recorded it, I was like recovering from being sick or something, so I could not sing very well. So I think this is a re-recording of that part when I actually could sing. But originally I was like hacking up a storm. It was bad. And that also happened again the second session we had with this. I got sick again. I don't know why. It was an interesting time. So yeah, that's the solo vocals. Oh yeah, there's a little Easter egg in here. The motif. I'm gonna start it right here. So that is, in scale degrees, 3-5-1-2, which is my own personal motif that I try to stick in like almost everything that I make, musically speaking. And so that exists right here. Just barely audible. But that's the point. It's supposed to be an Easter egg that you have to listen for. There's also a pyramid because Isaac was the one that chose Three Little Birds as a song to arrange. I was like, I like that because Jacob Collier has a really cool arrangement of it that I really love. And it's really simplistic, but there's lots of vocal harmonies. And this is one of the things he does in the in his version. I had to turn on the metronome so you knew what was going on metrically, because it's very like polyrhythmic. I'm not sure what word best applies here, but yeah, we snuck that in as kind of a nod to Jacob. I love that. We already listened to this. And what else we got going on? Some more bass. Nice. Guitar. still sounds kind of bad. Drums. Man, I got something in my throat. Organ. I think I might have played this one because I was working on this section when Isaac wasn't here, and I was like, we need some organ. So I played some organ, and then he's like, you know what, that sounds fine. And because there's so much else going on, we don't want it to be super crazy and excuse me, super crazy and stuff. So it was fine. Man, I don't know what is wrong with my throat today. Not that I'm not always clearing my throat. I think maybe I just need to drink less milk or something. Percussion. Tambourine. The return of the tambourine. I really like that effect that I got there. It's like there's like a triplet. I honestly don't even know how I did that, but I like it. I might need to go get some water or something. This is bad. Another interesting thing that's going on here that you might not have noticed, the claves, there's 2 speeds of clave going on. So here's the first one. But there's also one that's going half the speed. There was also originally going to be one going twice the speed, but it ended up just sounding too cluttered, so I cut that one. But the first 2 together sound like this. I love that. Now we have a repetition of the chorus, but in a different sort of style. Not really a different style, but just kind of arranged differently. Still Isaac and myself singing in harmony with the solos, but the harmonic vocal bed is quite different. This one we went very low and slow. Shout out to my brass methods class for that one. Listen to this. Oh, that's crazy. Obviously, we cannot actually hit those low notes. Oops, where's the low notes? It might be this one. Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy. Look at the EQ. That's crazy. So the secret to that is we recorded it at like 1.5 times speed, somewhere up here. And then obviously without the EQ. So we like just barely hit that note. And then you slow it down, add EQ. Crazy bass notes. Yeah. So that's that. I love what the bass is doing here. So originally, I had written a different ending for this, and then we ended up changing it to what it currently is. But in the original ending, the bass just kind of landed on the 1 and hung out for a while. I just kind of let it fade out. And then we ended up changing the ending, and so I was like, well, the bass needs to be doing something else. So I recorded this. My timing is so rough. But I didn't get rid of this. I just kind of left it in, and all the processing happens after these. So all of these plugins are processing those as essentially a single audio file, and the result is this. It's just kind of a weird sound. Until that fades away, then it sounds kind of normal. But because they're being processed together, it almost sounds like the low one is doing the thing, but it's not technically. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Guitar cuts out here. We still got some drums. A little bit simpler. I might have recorded this one. Not sure though. What else do we have? Organ parts? Yeah. Oh yeah, I played this organ part. This was meant to interplay with the clave rhythms. Let's play those together. So that's why that sounds the way that it does. I kind of like it. We almost got rid of it, but we kept it. Shaker came back. Then we get this section, this continuation of the return of the chorus, or the second chorus. Their chorus after the big chorus. I don't know how to talk about these parts. Anyway, so still 2 solo vocals, 1 on harmony. This is a cool bass line that Isaac had the idea for, but I played. Specifically that little walk up. He had the idea for that. I was like, oh, that's so good. Yeah, a little bit more drums. Oh, that's right. This is when we get the MIDI toms. I think those are also AJ Hall. Yeah. Cool. Here's where we get some interesting stuff. This is that new Jacob Collier Stomp Clap plugin that he released. You can play his audience choir as a MIDI instrument, and there's also like percussion, like the stomp claps, the classic Jacob Collier stomp claps. So that's going on. And there's also, I recorded some claps. I recorded 32 claps. And then I like moved them around in terms of like where they line up. So there's, in a way, 32 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 claps going on, because it's like if you took all of these and moved them down, so there's technically that many unique claps happening each time from me, but I did not record that many. I only recorded 32. So those, also some reverb on there, I think. The might just be like, I don't know, where's that reverb coming from? Is that one? I don't know. Anyway, so there's some stomp claps going on. A cymbal hit, apparently. Yeah. Is that it? I guess so. Then we have the ending, which sounds like this when soloed out. So that was, we were trying to figure out how to end this track. I was like, well, we could do like a end on a weird not tonic chord. I've done that a couple times with my cousin Olivia on some of her stuff. And we kind of played around with that idea, but ended up not going with it. And then I don't know which of us came up with the idea of doing like a wedge chord, but that's where you like start on one note and then expand outward. And so I wrote something similar to this. Let me turn this down real quick. Whoops, that is not soloed. There we go. I can't play all the things. Hold on. Let me give it the ability to play more than 8 notes at once. So I'd written something similar to this. And I played it for Isaac. He's like, yeah, I like it. It needs more crunch. So he added some crunch notes in here. I was doing mostly like triads, and so he added some sevenths and whatnot. And he also added this like sharp 4 to 5 thing, which I love so much. It's so brilliant. That little da-da, so good. So yeah, then same sort of thing where you like highlight the notes you're gonna sing them, and then delete, and then highlight more notes, sing, delete. And that leaves you with this. Oh yeah, also, one thing that isn't in the MIDI file is Isaac had this idea to just hold the tonic through the entire thing. So that's what these ones are. Whoops. How do I... There we go. He also had the idea to do the like little shimmer thing at the end where you like add vibrato at the very end of the last chord. So brilliant. So if we just follow one of these. Man, that compressor is doing some work. Yeah. I'm not going to play all of these individually, but maybe I'll just build up the chord from the bottom. Yeah, cool stuff. I love vocal harmony. So I think that's pretty much it? Question mark? Yeah. Oh yeah, there is some like reverb that's happening on oops, do I have something soloed? Yes, I do. That happens on the solo vocals. Whoops, that's the first verse. I was like, what's going on here? Here we are. That makes more sense. So yeah, there's a reverb that gets like automated up. So at the start, you don't really hear it, but by the end, you hear that. So that's just kind of a fun effect to add some more space to the end of the track. Slowly creeps in throughout. That might be everything. I'm sure I missed something because, like I said, there's 411 tracks in this project file. So there's probably something that I missed. But that's kind of the kind of the thing. That's the track. Yeah, you should be able to find this on my main channel, which is Jordan Olson, and on streaming services under Jordan Olson, Three Little Birds. Whoops, hold on. I should do this thing. Right. There we go. So, you should be able to find this on streaming services and on YouTube. Let me know what you think of the track and any questions you might have in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Actually, hold on. There's one more thing I could talk about. Let me pull it up quick. That's just the mastering process. So I master my own stuff because I don't have the money to pay anybody else. So I just figured we could take a look through the mastering stuff that I did. So these are my dynamics settings: stabilizer, vintage compressor, vintage EQ, doing a little bit of work, and vintage limiter. Pretty basic stuff. I didn't want to affect it too much. Yeah, I don't really know how to master things. I'm still learning, so if you actually know what you're doing, this probably looks horrible to you, but I think it sounds okay. So that's that. Thanks for that. Wait, hold on, let me do the thing. Thanks for watching and or listening if you weren't watching the video. I should really just end this. I'm gonna end it. Okay, bye.